Great. Thank you so much, Cordula. Yes, it's very early here, but I'm glad to be here. As I often joke, I don't drink coffee, so I'm just awake and excited to talk about data collection. So um, can everybody see my slides? You should be able to see my name on my slides. I see a thumbs up. Great. So hi, I'm Yaw Anokwa. I am the founder and CEO of ODK. I usually like to start with my email address. That's my email. As Cordula will tell you, I'm very quick with email. If you have any questions about anything I say or anything is unclear, please do email me. I literally respond to every email I get. You can also find me on LinkedIn and Twitter if you like to connect that way. So let's just jump in because we don't have a ton of time. What is ODK? ODK lets you build these really powerful offline forms to collect the data you need wherever it is. It is a replacement for paper forms and surveys. I saw a lot of folks using tools like SurveyMonkey or Google Forms. It's a mobile data collection app. It's a field data collection app. The most common use case is that a data collector or an enumerator is in the field. They fill out a form using the ODK Collect mobile app on a phone or tablet. If and when that device gets a connection, either a Wi-Fi or a cell connection, it'll send the data, and this happens automatically in the background. The data gets sent to an ODK central server where it can be seen and acted on. Now, typically, users will download the data as a CSV or Excel file or build live updating dashboards with Excel and Power BI, and I'll show you examples of that. Some people use R, some people use Python. There are an absolute ton of data collection apps in the world. So what makes ODK different? We like to think of ODK as a Land Cruiser of data collection apps. So it's really designed to work in places where there isn't reliable internet, power, etc. It's very easy to use with no training, and very customizable depending on the needs. And it's trusted globally, particularly in the global development sector. And when I say globally, I do mean it. ODK is used everywhere, especially in hard to reach places. This is our app users from the last 3 months. You can see we have users in Greenland, which is not a very popular place to be, but ODK is used globally. We process about 250 billion with a B submissions from about 4 million users every year. So one question I get asked a lot is, well, why is ODK so widely used? I can think of 6 reasons. I'll go through those and then I'll show you an end-to-end demo. The first reason why ODK is sort of the global standard for mobile data collection is that the forms themselves are really powerful. So they can include photos, they can include locations, skip logic, calculations, external data sets. You can collect data in multiple languages. You can have repeating elements. You can play videos as part of the forms. You can scan barcodes. So the forms themselves end up being like little mini applications. That's the first reason. And I'll show you an example of this. All of this works offline. So you can use the mobile app or the web app, and forms and submissions are synchronized in the background when a connection is found. And the connection doesn't have to be very strong. In fact, ODK has been used on the International Space Station. So it works in space. It'll probably work wherever it is you are. ODK doesn't do any data analysis inside the software. Instead, we focus on making it really easy for you to analyze your data. So you can connect tools like Excel, Power BI, R, Python directly to ODK and build live updating dashboards. And I'll show you an example of that in just a second. ODK is proven at global scale. It's regularly used to collect millions of submissions. It's trusted in pretty much every sector you've heard of, from public health to climate monitoring. And the software itself is entirely open source. So you can install it on your own infrastructure or pay for a cloud infrastructure. And if it doesn't do exactly what you need it to do, you can extend it or try compatible alternatives. Okay, one last slide, and then we can jump into a demo. Just to give you a sense for who uses ODK, ODK's focus is helping organizations have social impact. So most of our users are in the social impact space. So WHO has used ODK to collect, I think in the Africa region alone, something like 500 million data points collected through ODK on disease immunization, everything from malaria to polio to COVID-19. The Carter Center uses ODK for election monitoring. The Red Cross uses it in pretty much every action they take for monitoring and evaluation. Countries like Sierra Leone, the Jane Goodall Institute uses it, Honduras, World Food Program, Guyana uses it both for actually monitoring elephantitis and prevention of elephantitis, as well as the efficiency of its power grid. And then Australia uses it for conservation. So just to give you a taste of the kinds of people who use ODK. There are folks who use it for tourism. I think particularly in the Philippines, it's very popular for tourism, and I'll show you an example of it in use. So that's my slide deck. I'm at a 5-minute mark. what I like to do is just like show you the software in action. So when I talked to Cordula about that, she thought it'd be cool for me to build a survey and get folks to fill out a survey so you see what the experience is like. So I've done that. I am going to drop this link here. Let's see if I can find the link. I'm going to drop this link in the chat and give folks just 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, just to fill out a very short survey. This is not going to be statistically significant, but if you humor me, fill out the survey whilst I start the demo. Okay, so I will have a screen here. Great. So whilst folks are filling out the demo, I'm just going to explain what you're looking at here on your screen. On the left-hand side is the server. It's where people like yourselves, your project managers, supervisors will be logging into the server. And then on the other hand side is a screenshot of my phone. I actually have my phone in my hand to show you a sense of what ODK can do. So in the ODK server, we have a list of forms. These are forms that your team is using to collect data. We have things like project roles where people like myself, I'm a manager, I can make any changes to the forms. Alen is our project viewer. She's not very trusted, so she can only view data. And then we have our app users. Our app users are the folks who are out in the field, your data collectors. They can be individuals like myself, Yaw, or Nick, or they can be teams of people. These folks typically don't have usernames and passwords. They have QR codes. And so to deploy ODK, you just send these QR codes to your users, either via WhatsApp or email. You can print them out and put them in a training room. But the bottom line is that once you scan that QR code, let me just delete this so we have a fresh project from you to choose from here. Let's delete this too. My apologies, I should have deleted this. Once we scan the QR code, the phone links to the server. And so we know that we're in our sandbox project because you can see the sandbox here. I'm going to fill the blank form, and I see that I have a couple of forms, and these forms are determined here. So for Yaw has access to the Brazzaville site visits and the tourism survey and the verbal autopsy. If I uncheck these two, so I only have the tourism survey and save it, and then I hit refresh on the mobile side, I only see the tourism survey. So your project managers can decide who has access to what forms on the server. You've been filling out a web version of this form. I'm going to fill out my own version and pretend I'm somebody else. You can see that, excuse me, forms are available in multiple languages. So here it's showing in French, but I can switch it to English because my French is not so bueno. I'm going to say my first name is Bob. Forms can have multiple. Well, I said my name is Bob here. Right now, I'm seeing my name being used in the survey. And again, all of this stuff works. I can toggle the language again in French. What's my age? If I say that my age is 19, actually shows another question. So you can have questions show up and disappear based on previous answers and logic and branching. So if I say I'm 5, which sometimes I behave like I'm 5. If I say I'm 5, I don't see the location question. But if I'm greater than 18, then I see the location question. So I'm going to take a GPS point. I'm going to take a picture. You can include also some multimedia as part of the question. I don't have. What can I? This is great. I've got a card for my kids. We'll take a picture of that. We'll add that to the form. There we go. And then the most important question, tourism is great. I am going to strongly agree on that. I'm going to hit save form and exit. The form has been sent to the server because I have a connection. And in fact, if I go here to the tourism survey submissions, oh, look at that. We have lots of data already from everybody here. So I've been filling out the form as if I was a data collector with a phone out in the field. You folks have been filling out forms as if you were participants. ODK supports both enumerators and participants. And so the participants, you can just send them a link, just as I did to you, and you fill out the form. So we can see people's data here. Some of them have GPS coordinates. That's beautiful. Once the data is on the server, you can do a bunch of stuff. You can see who sent data yesterday. For example, we can filter by that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I sent some test submissions yesterday. You can do things like edit the data. So here's some of Yaw's data from yesterday. I can edit it. Actually, I'm not 31. I am 41. The web form, again, supports whatever languages that you put in there into the form. I can edit the data. And the thing that's cool about the data edit is that ODK keeps track of every version that you've ever made to every change you made. So I know what device sent it, the form version, the state it's in. I know that I changed age from 31 to 41. I can leave comments about the data. So all that is available here. Once I'm done, I can download the data, but I can do something a little cooler that I'm going to show you, then I'll finish. All this data is here, but nobody wants to be downloading spreadsheets like it's the 90s. So you can hit this Analyze via OData button here and get a link. If you copy and paste this link into a tool like Power BI, which I'm going to show you right now, you get these beautiful charts. And so this is the dashboard from yesterday. We've sent in a bunch of data. I'm just going to hit refresh here. And if all goes well, the dashboard, the live updated dashboard is going to go out to the server, grab the latest submissions, and graph them here. So these are, Laura is, I'm sorry, I'm disclosing people's ages here. Laura is 59. We've got Sally of 15. So these are all the submissions that were sent in and are available mapped, a simple chart. What about page 2? This is just a graph of the tourism is great question. You can see that it's all updated. Naturally, everybody here thinks tourism is really great. And then the last thing is that you can map all the stuff. So because you collected GPS coordinates, as the data is coming in, you can actually just drop them on a map and mouse over. And so at the end of the day, ODK is a data collection app, but it's really great for offline data collection and lets you get a real-time view of structured data that's being collected about tourism or whatever else that's available. So I'm going to stop here. I know we're out of time. If you have any more questions, let me give you my contact information here. If you have any more questions and you want a more personalized demo for your project, you can request one on the ODK website. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. I'm going to stop here because I'm way over and leave the floor for questions if folks have them. Thanks so much.